All right, Shalom, giving all glory, honor, and praises to Yahweh, Bashim, Yahweh Shai, Bashim, Chakodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders, great millstone to rule and teach well. Peace, love, salutation to the elect 144 first fruit. Um, so we got the French acting a donkey, because I have two articles for them. So I'll start with this one since it came out, you know, about a week ago, as you see, 4 days ago. It says from France comes a call for Trump's America to return Lady Liberty. Here's why it won't happen. I don't care if it happens or not, but showing that France is like, we don't really like America anymore because they're saying Lady Liberty stood for something. So let's just read a little bit. It says, "Hey America, give the Statue of Liberty back to France." So says French politician who is making headlines in his country for suggesting that the U.S. is no longer worthy of the monument that was a gift from France nearly 140 years ago. It says, as a member of the European Parliament and co-president of the small left-wing party in France, Raphael Glucksmann cannot claim to speak for all of his compatriots. It says, but his assertion in his speech this weekend that some Americans have chosen to switch to the side of the tyrants reflects the broad shockwaves that U.S. President Donald Trump's seismic shifts in foreign and domestic policies are triggering in France and elsewhere in Europe. Because, yes, Trump is making big moves everywhere, going down from, it says, foreign and domestic, going down from the border, doing, giving ICE a whole bunch of power to deport certain individuals or what they call illegals out of the country, um, all the way down to, like I said, strengthening the border, um, going to, he's trying to eliminate the IRS. He is trying to take power away from the ATF, which ATF is an entity that's not necessarily constitutionally a a real kind of organization. It's actually an organization that was made to oppose the Second Amendment. So he's trying to, because Trump is a 2A supporter, which means he supports the right to bear arms or guns, for lack of better words. So he's trying to diminish the power of the ATF. It's another thing he's doing domestically. Um, oh yeah, another thing he's doing domestically. He's trying to abolish the third term, or you can't run more than 2 term limit. So that's something that's domestic because that has to deal with the, if I'm not mistaken, that's an amendment as well. I forgot what amendment that is in the Constitution. There's just a few things that he's trying to do in domestically in America. And then you got foreign relations. And the biggest foreign relation thing that has been dealing with is the tariff. He started the trade war. So he's put 20 to 25% tariffs on particular nations such as Canada, China, and Mexico. And then also, too, he has cut funding from Ukraine. Of course, you saw his relation with President Zelensky, which I did a lesson on a while back. He did he had a meeting with him in the Oval Office. He was like, the situation you're in is not good. Millions are dying. So foreign relations have been kind of shaky with him. And of course, he's going to try to do some stuff with Putin, the bear. So when it says here in this article that President Donald Trump's seismic shifts in foreign and domestic policies are triggering, well, you got to get into that word policy. real quick. Okay, we're gonna bring up Daniel 8, but I mean, then you get into that word policy. Policy. The word policy says the study or practice of government, good government. All right. You go to Daniel 8 and 25. What does it say? It says, through his policy, through his study of the government, he shall cause craft. Okay. He shall cause craft. And what is craft here? Treachery. Okay. He shall cause craft. So through his understanding of the government, because we see the word policy here means the study or practice of government. Okay. Through his understanding of government, he shall cause treachery to prosper in his hand. And that's what Trump is doing. He's causing treachery to prosper in his hand. In French, the French, who are one of the what? This is Revelation 17 and 1. It says, and there came one of the seven angels with the seven vials and talked with me, saying unto me, come hither, I will show you unto thee the judgment of the great whore that sitteth on many waters. Okay. It says, with whom the kings of the earth have committed fornication, and the inhabitants of the earth have been made drunk with the wine of her fornication. Now the wine is going into philosophies and ideologies that the whore, which is aka Babylon the Great, aka America, has put out there across the world. Just giving a brief synopsis of what's going on, just trying to get to the point. It says, so he carried away in the spirit into the wilderness. So like in one moment. Give me 1 second, Salakia. Okay, Salaki, my fault. I had to do something real quick. All right, so going back, it says, so he carried away in the spirit of the wilderness, and I saw a woman sit upon on a scarlet-colored beast. And you got to understand that scarlet color, too. It says, full of names of blasphemy, having 7 heads and 10 horns. All right, so of course, this whore is spreading around bad ideology and is making these other nations fornicate. Okay, all right. And when it comes to the 7 heads and 10 horns, of which pretty much that horse sits on top of, okay, or also, sits on top of many waters, which it breaks down in verse 15 here what the many waters are. It says, he said to, verse 15, he says, and he saith unto me, the waters which thou sawest where the horse sitteth are peoples and multitudes and nations and tongues. Right. Okay. So also too, the 7 heads and 10 horns are nations and multitudes of people as well, comprised of different countries. So you have the 7 heads, which when you mention the 7 heads, you always got to start off with the Greeks. All right. So that's one of the 7 heads. And then the next one is the British, Germanian Major and Minor, Spanish, and the Romans, and who we're talking about now, the French. That's why I say, man, the French are acting up. One of them horns are acting up. Okay? And when I say horns, it's a power. Okay? It says 7 heads and 10 horns. I know it's 10 horns. But your 10 horns, to just to name a few of them, like Ireland, West Germany, England, Greece, Netherlands, Luxembourg, who else? I want to say Denmark, um, Italy, Belgium. I think I got all of them there. The Netherlands, if I haven't said them already. So those are the 10 horns. Then you got them 7 heads, which I mentioned earlier. In France is one of them. Okay, and the word horn means a power. As a matter of fact, since we're in Revelation 17, let's see what them 10 horns are going to do. So it says, verse 16, it says, the 10 horns which thou sawest, which I just named them, upon the beast, these shall hate the whore, and shall make her desolate and naked, and shall eat her flesh and burn her with fire. You see? So we got the French, who technically are one of the horns mentioned and also one of the 7 heads. They're popping shit. And they best believe France is going to get a piece of America when it's all said and done. Which takes me to my next article here. It says France issues survival manual to prepare citizens for invasion. You see? Because they sense something coming down the pipeline. And they know that they're about to do something that's going to initiate a retaliation to their own country because they're fed up themselves, as we read in this article right here. The French are blowing the horn, no pun intended. I might make that my my screensaver, a French horn. You know? Says the French government has drawn a 20-page survival manual to prepare the citizens for a potential invasion. Because the World War III is happening. Okay? That's what's happening right now. And, while I say this, just on a side note, you don't have to do this. You don't even have to take heed to this. I highly recommend you go buy a Rangers booklet. Hold on. A Ranger booklet. A Ranger handbook. Yeah, this 76-page Ranger handbook. You can find this on Amazon for probably about like 10 to 15 bucks. Pretty much what this is from the Ranger Battalion in the Army. And it teaches you certain tactics. I'm not saying that this is going to just save you. It's good to understand how shit works because guess what? Esau's going to be doing this. Don't you got to know your enemy and how they operate and how they move? Absolutely. So you could go get you one of these, and just read up on it if you want to. I don't think this is the right one, to be honest, because this is not what mine looks like. Hold on 1 second. Yeah, no, this is not what mine looks like. But still, So France is gearing these people up. Hey, look, it says imminent threat. The horns are speaking, man. And we're watching it. So that's about all I have for this one. I want to give all glory, honor, and praises to Yahweh Ba'Shem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'Shem HaKadosh. Double honor to the apostles and elders of great millstone to rule and teach well. Peace of salutation to the elect 144 first fruit. And like always, repent for Yahweh Shai is coming back sooner than what me and you believed. All right, shalom.